In October 2011, I picked up a film camera marketed as a toy camera from a bookstore. I was poking fun at it, thinking who's still shooting on films. But growing up in an era where film cameras were dominant, nostalgia got me interested in seeing the old-timey image quality again. And so, I've been gradually shooting on films the most, for events and creativity unknowingly. Later, I learned how to develop films myself. For the past couple years, I have accumulated some rolls undeveloped due to constant relocations. When settled down, I will have about a year to get them developed and also to shoot some more for an anniversary project on film photography, a photo book entitled Raw Ideas. Now that I've settled down, let's get them developed. I used to think that color film developing at home was impractical because of some sayings I saw on the internet a while back. Besides, it was somewhat true as color film developing chemicals were hard to find in my location. When I moved to the States, I happened to find a C41 color film developing kit by Rollei, which was easy to get and simple to use. I was happy that I could now develop my own color films. But that happiness was not for long. A couple years later, I moved back to the same region. It was hard to find color film developing kits as conveniently packaged as the Rollei's C41 kit. In other words, chemicals from known brands are sold individually in big volume bottles and high prices. After a few look-arounds, I chose to go with indie brands unheard of to me prior to this point, but offered exactly what I looked for. Here is an example as such: a small all-in-one C41 kit for 11 rolls. Each chemical comes as 500 mg, 17 ounces working solution. There are some other indie brands, however, this particular kit seems the simplest. I have accumulated about 35 rolls over the last 2 years. Some of them are cinema films like Kodak XX 5207 that has a black carbon layer on film. For that, I have prepared a decarbonizer. A while ago, when I realized I wouldn't be able to develop films myself for possibly another 1 or 2 years, I started writing notes on film cartridge so that I will know which is shot where using what camera. Now on some rolls, either the notes are so vague, I still don't know what that's about, or my writing is so bad, I can't read them. It's now a pain in the ass to distinguish which is about what, especially I have to find the least important rolls to try the chemicals. But later it's gonna be so fun seeing the images and go like, oh, this is that. I almost forgot its existence. I remember this incident where I accidentally opened my camera thinking it had no film inside as noted here, accidentally exposed. This kit comes in 4 chemicals: developer, bleach, fix, all in 500 mg, 17 ounces working solution, and spotless rinse concentrate. The developer reveals images on film. I'm to pour out 25 mg, 0.85 ounces from the working solution after use for 1 roll, and double that volume for 2 rolls. I'll then pour the same volume from the replenisher to the working solution to keep it from exhausting itself. The bleach stops image revealing and neutralizes residue from the developing process so that it can be washed away in the following fixing bath. Simply speaking, for each use on 1 roll, pour out 7 mg, 0.24 ounces from the working solution and add back the same volume from the replenisher. The fixer stabilizes images on film and washes away residue. For each use on one roll, pour out 50 mg, 1.7 ounces from the working solution and add back the same volume from the replenisher. The spotless rinse is a concentrate that can be added into water right on the spot for a few drops. For cinema films that have a black carbon layer on film, I have this decarbonizer that replaces water in the foremost pre-rinse step. Instead of using water to wet the film and bring it to the required temperature, I will use the decarbonizer, agitate for 30 seconds, pour out decarbonizer, and then pour in water followed by a rapid agitation for 15 seconds. Pour out black water and move on to the developing bath. So that's all about the chemicals. I'll use a dark bottle for developer and a neat bottle with a small opening for spotless rinse, so I won't accidentally spill too much like what happened in my D72 process video. Judging by the film base, I think the chemicals and the developing process are properly done. It's just that the images on the films are not appealing. Oh, here's the spot of accidental open camera exposure as aforementioned. Okay, now I shall go ahead and get the rest developed.